tuned in to the chat right here on Citi TV. We're live from Alisa Hotel, of course, encouraging you that every day in the month of August, with a few days left in the month of August, to pass through Alisa Hotel from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. every single day for an exciting cocktail hour. So they're basically offering you some great offers at the Patron and Patron Lounge and Oasis, with a serving of cocktails and a trio of meats. We call it the meetup. So come through with your meetings, with your friends, with your families. Make an event out of it every day in the month of August, right here at Alisa Hotel, North Ridge. Of course, at this particular point in time, I want to talk about cocktails. It's time to bring on our cocktails for us to get into the exciting part of the conversation. And our cocktails, cautioned by the powered by the Caution Cocktail Bar, are bringing it right here. Yes, and today's cocktail is named after our celebrity guest who will be joining us a little later on in the show, even though I do have a celebrity guest right now with me, and I'll be introducing him very shortly. But today's cocktail is called Gloria's Dew Drops, named after MOG Music, who will be joining us a little later on in the show. And it's rare that I get a celebrity joining me in this part of the conversation, but he is very integral to the conversation, talking about breaking barriers and breaking boundaries in the Ghanaian music industry. I'll start off with the man. He's been in the industry for quite a while. I think 2 decades or more.
2 decades or more.
He is one of the pioneers when you talk about collaborations across the African continent. He has paid his dues, and he's certainly releasing hit after hit years after. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Tick. Hi, Tick. It's good to have you in the studios.
Thank you. Great.
And of course, I'm joined still by Baba Sadiq. He is the CEO of Three Music Networks, Three Music TV and Awards, and as well media personality Chris Carter. Thank you for joining us, or staying with me, guys. Now, getting straight into the conversation. Over the last few weeks, we've seen something that at least now has become a bit rare. Earlier on in the music industry, Tick, you were one of the pioneers that used to have a lot of collaborations, crossing the various boundaries across the African continent, performing with people, collaborating with people, doing media tours around there. Now, it's sort of slowed down over the last couple of years, but we've seen that D Black has entered some of the various continents. I think went to Kenya, I think now in Tanzania. South Korea has done the same, Nigerian tour, went to Kenya and also now in Tanzania. And we've seen them moving around quite a bit, which is quite different, refreshing, would say. What do you think has... And let me start from the beginning. How was it, or how easy or difficult was it to be able to break that boundary and be recognized in the Nigerian market, for example, which we are always lamenting that they don't take the Ghanaian sector quite seriously? How easy was it for you to be able to do that?
Yeah, it wasn't easy. I mean, if somebody is going to use the word easy, I'm going to pick a Kenyan.
Or how difficult was it?
I would say that you always have to have a plan. I mean, as a musician, it's not just singing. I mean, there's always supposed to be a plan. You can have a song that is not the biggest, but could find its way into top movies, soundtracks. You know, you can have a song that is not the biggest song in your country end up as world #1 somewhere. It's a territorial thing, you know. I mean, people say, that's my territory. This is another man's territory. But music can be good in Ghana, or can be very bad in Ghana, but maybe the biggest song in Kenya, for example. So I understand that language. From day one, I was exposed. Let me put it that way. I was exposed in my early, process when I was rising up. So at the end of the day, I knew about these things. So, I mean, I was signed to major labels. And so I was exposed. I had to tour the whole of UK so I can be known in the UK, for example. And so that thing was something that I got to know of. And so I asked myself one question. I was like, how am I singing in Ghana? I'm rapping in Ghana, and I have Togo around me. I have Cote d'Ivoire. I have the Francophone, Anglophone, and it's just Ghana. It doesn't work like that. I mean, let me try to push a little bit. So we launched a campaign, Tick Goes International. And we had, the great, legendary Freddie Mayway on one joint to to take over the Francophone, because he was like the king of Francophone, you know. And, the whole idea was not just a collaboration. Look, you can collaborate, but you need to have a plan. The artists themselves need to sit down and realize what they want. So it's like, okay, I want to dominate Francophone. How can you help me? Well, I'm going to do this and do that. For example, like when Shatta had a collaboration with the Queen of Pop.
Beyonce.
Beyonce. Beyonce had a deliberate plan. Yes. Her plan was to sit on top of Afro music in Africa because they see it rising up. Yeah. And they were like, okay, we have Tidal, we have everything. So if we're going to put the music everywhere and we see the future, so why don't we tap into it? So who are the people doing well? Why don't I do a song with this guy, that guy, so that in that territory, we are already sitting on top of it. I mean, she has always been a queen for the whole world, but she wants to stamp her dominance. So that she brought people together and also give that exposure to the American world, you know, because whether we like it or not, there are a chunk of African youth growing up in Europe and in America. Yes. And they are banging to what is coming from, you know, Africa. That is how it started. Like when we started introducing that to them, you know. So that territorial thing, you cannot
shy away from it. Honestly.
Not shy away from it. Compromise. Okay. As an artist, it's something you need to have as a plan. If you don't have the finance, that's another thing. But if you do have the finance, that is always what you have to do. Because when you release a song in Ghana and you say you are the biggest artist in Africa, you are from Ghana, then of course you need to give a bite to the rest of Africa before you can even think about Europe and America and Asia, you know? So for me, it's like you said, it's quite great. And how we did it through the hard way. Because I will make money from the UK.
And pump it all in that.
Exactly.
Wow.
And of course, if you want to walk the walk and talk,
you have
then
to put
obviously,
your money there.
Exactly. So you will have to book like Hilton, ground transportation, media, and all of that. And it was coming from my pocket, like TNR Music, together with my management. So when we do all this work, I expect to get the returns. And then when you come home and you go out to perform, and it's like everything basically is for free. So how are you going to continue to do that and maintain the level that you expect yourself to be? Yeah. Tell me, how many times are you seeing, for example, Kodwenchi going out on tour in Africa?
That's true. Practically never.
Exactly. Kodwenchi is one of the biggest things that
ever.
So far as I'm concerned, that Lumba, myself, or Bradford, you shouldn't be sleeping because the people that you served their music over the decades are still there. They have the money now. But who is going to be the one pumping in that money to keep it going? So yes, it's a good thing I see these artists doing. And it's something that if every artist who is in the A bracket can do, then we won't be talking about it anymore. It will become a norm. And it should be the norm because it's part of the music practice. Exactly. So it is now that things are popping up. Yes. That people have some sorts of fans.
To be able.
Right. Wow. And I see, I am on Zika Media. I've signed to Zika Media for 5 years. I've been on Zika Media for like, for 5 years and counting. So I know what Zika Media can do. It's now that people are getting to know what they can do. But I have been on Zika Media. And so when you talk about Zika Media, then you're talking about things like that because they understand that. You understand? And they believe in you do the music and let's do
the PR and everything else inclusive. Now coming to you, Sadiq, what do you think it takes for other artists to follow suit? Because it seems to be almost rare. We've talked about it many times. There's been so much discussion about it. We need to go out. We need to promo. We need to take advantage of the hype we are creating in other countries. We need to be more visible in other markets. But it seems to be slow to happen. Now we've seen some action there. What is going to take it for others to jump on that wave?
Well, it will take investment and a lot of money.
Is it largely the money?
Yeah, it's a lot of money. I mean, and obviously it will take a certain level of partnership and involvement from the likes of Zika Media, and some of the major labels. I mean, everybody's commending Sarkodie for touring Africa, but it's tied to the deal that he signed with Zika Media, for instance. You know, so there are different models when it comes to the music business today. I mean, there's a proverbial 360 deal, and then these days we're doing the advanced deal on projects, on albums, on singles. From what we understand, Zika Media is actually bankrolling this. And so as an organization, as an entertainment company, they are having to put in an extra budget down for marketing and promotions to ensure that they are able to activate the music and the talent in the various most important markets for them in Africa, so they can ensure that the streams or the necessary ways, the revenue lines that they sign to are able to generate or get their money back. I mean, it's a lot of money. So it definitely requires a lot of money to activate one's music and brand in different markets. There are ways to do it. I mean, it's either you can do it through promotional channels, TV, radio, online, and all of those things. You can do it with events, little events, meet and greet, and all of that. All of these things are geared at activating the brand, activating the music, and getting the gatekeepers in the various different markets to amplify it so that you can get people to actually stream. Today, I mean, a lot more people are listening to radio and watching TV, and they're also on their phones. They're in the clubs, and they have Shazam. I can count the number of times I heard a song at Bloomberg, for instance, and a Shazam, and like, this is a fantastic song. And then the next, so you see, so technology, so now people are working around it. Because then now, when they hear Sarkodie, and if, for instance, they've never heard about Sarkodie, and they're listening to radio and they hear Sarkodie, they are going to Shazam and look for him and say, who is Sarkodie? She's talking about no pressure. What's special about the no pressure? They go on. But Tick said something that's very important. It always starts with the plan. It always starts with a key objective. You know, I know that in the market, for instance, we've gotten so used to the 1 million views or 1 million, you know, we've gone past that. 1 million streams or views or whatever
standard.
Is no more the standard. And so for people like Sarkodie, I'm sure that in their conversations, in their deal with Ziki, obviously they would be mindful of that fact, mindful of the fact that we've gone beyond that. They would want to ensure that they go beyond that by ensuring that they go out in all these most important music markets in East Africa and West Africa to activate the music. But it takes a lot of money. You saw the team he flew with, the number of days that's going to be there. I mean, there are people that really regard music the way it should be, which is the fact that it's a serious business that requires a lot more investment. So to be able to do that, which would by all means, or most of the times, bring back some benefits, you would have to really spend. It's unfortunate that we've got a lot of do-it-yourself talent in market, or what you call independent talent. But now more than ever, like I said, there's a like that the Zika Media and a number of them offering different deals that makes it possible for you to actually be able to unlock some of these things. But it starts with having a team that really understands it.
Okay, now Chris, you as a Pan-African media personality, having knowledge of the Nigerian market as well as the Ghanaian, the Nigerians mastered this technique quite a while ago. They are very quick to book their own flights, come into Ghana, network with the people that are the gatekeepers in the music industry and get their music out there. How did they perfect the formula, and how can we learn from that?
Well, I don't think there's a formula to that. I mean, we've been talking about this for a long time, and a lot of us have said so many times, especially people that live in Ghana that want Ghana music to go out there. We've always been saying, at least travel. You don't need to go all the way to you don't need to go all the way out there. Tick said something earlier. I mean, he asked himself, like, okay, yes, I'm the greatest here, but how come I've not been to the neighboring countries? How much does it cost to go to Nigeria? Even if you cannot go to Nigeria, these people have social media now. In their time, they didn't have social media, but they were able to do it. But you have social media in your hand, like, just like you can send a message, you can DM, you can try to start from there. And then secondly, one thing I realized about the Nigerian, okay, the normal Nigerian, just like the way I packed my bags and came here, I didn't know anybody. That's what, you know, that's what we just move. You move. We just move. And apart from moving,
Jump.
You know, apart from moving, you know, apart from moving, there's something that I have seen that they do a lot. They are there, but because they want their music to, you know, enter Ghana, they ask questions. Because when I visit Lagos, you see people like Fino, Praise, I say, babe, how far now? Who they hot right now for Ghana? Who they hot? Because they want to collaborate. They want to reach out to the person. You understand? So, I mean, even through social media, they could, like some people do that through social media. And I know so many of them that have DM people through social media. But it seems like my brothers and sisters here are just kind of like calm. Yes. We just want someone to do it for you. Like, I think people are afraid to move here because of the bad things they've heard about Nigeria. But apart from Nigeria, Nigeria is not the only country that you can sell your music. Cote d'Ivoire is here. Togo is here. Togo is just like 3 hours. And
honestly, it comes down to it. And Citi, I truly acknowledge your point about the funds needed, but sometimes it doesn't cost an arm and a leg. Sometimes, please,
I mean, you are the host.
No, please go ahead.
If you've been an artist before, you will not talk about funds and say it doesn't cost anything. Sorry. Let me tell you something.
Please.
I spent almost all my money on promotion. Promotion is expensive.
Yes.
Look, if people come and they organize a media soiree or whatever, everything that goes in and out, you pay for it.
It's
Ground transportation is so expensive.
Yeah, it's an expense.
Okay? The team that you go with, everybody have to eat. Everybody have to get their per diems. You know, like you talk about it like nothing, but it's something.
No, so my point I was making is in terms of even getting the music into the market without necessarily going there. Sometimes
now there's social media, but the thing is,
there's a misconception that we need to kill, and I think I made them points, particularly for somebody that also works in digital distributions as well. We need to understand this: the music, just by it sitting on social media on the platform, does not just move.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say the physical presence.
So speaking as an on-air presenter who plays music all the time, I've had a lot of artists from across the African continent just sending me a really good worded email telling me the merit of me listening to this particular song, and if I
is also another plan.
If I agree that it's a good song, I should play it to my audience. There are certain songs that I did not even hear about, certain artists I didn't even know about, but based on that email they sent me with the music that, okay, this is this particular artist in Tanzania, they've done this, they've chopped that, they are the #1 song in the Tanzanian Apple Music charts. Please take a listen to this song, and if you like it, play it to your listening audience. And I have, and I've gotten those songs on air.
I will tell you that every artist, every serious artist has got a PR team.
Yes.
Now, when you're having a release or you're releasing your album, that is part of the trick.
Right.
Okay, you send a blast. We call it a blast. You send it out to all media outlets, regardless, not just in your country, and somebody might pick it up.
Yes.
Okay, but what we are talking about here is a deliberate action.
Yes.
You know, like as an artist, look, for example, you see Wizkid walking around here like he's just here partying. He's not partying.
No, he's very deliberate about his actions.
He knows what he's doing.
Yes.
I mean, when I had an issue with like Wiz and, you know, one of his boys came to my restaurant. That's the deliberate action. You know, like, so you may think nothing is happening, but something is happening.
Yes.
So Ghanaian artists, look, let me give you another example. Mace Bell, at some point, I will say this everywhere I go, was one of the biggest artists, female artists in Africa. Did she know? And I just had the opportunity to go out there and do something for, you know, and then I realized that, shit.
Her song is everywhere.
I mean, 16 years big. And I came and I told her, I said, look, you are the biggest queen in Africa. Just let's go. Let me be the agent. Let's go out there and promote. It was like a joke to her.
And then there's something that you also need to understand. Look, even with the mail blast, for people that are involved in business planning, financial projections for businesses and everything, they'll tell you that activity that happened, that got you aware of the talent, there's an expense to it. There's a cost to it. So since we launched the 3 Music channel, since we did that, so 3 Music Awards apparently blew out and got us some bit of attention in Nigeria and other countries, for instance. We had people actually reaching out. But these people that actually reached out are people that are working as part of a setup, and there's an expense on that. So there's a cost to it. It looks like a free cost. It's not a free cost. Okay. If it's a PR guy that understands his job, that is working within the team, there's always a value attached to it, either post or pre-value. It depends on how it's managed. But lately, and what we come to find out is that there are a number of well set up companies coming up in some of the biggest music markets in Africa, and they've got this. The Sony West African team were in my office, for instance, and having conversations, bigger conversations regarding how they can plug in. These guys are paid to do that.
Yeah.
Ordinarily, in all the matured music markets, where the thought leadership regarding how you can enable music globally, these things are there because the companies have been properly set up to have the various departments to ensure these things happen. It often does not rely on the artists. Often, you know. So it's the organizations. But I get it that we are in a more DIY market where there's an expectation that the talent ought to know everything. True. Across the world, the insight to enable the music and get it to run far often doesn't sit with the talent. It sits within the companies and organizations regarding it. But it's understandable that, yes, we have that expectation, but it requires money. Look, Sarpong has been an A-list talent for a longer time. Riding high, probably making money and all of those things, funding the music and all of that. But until he's gone, or until he went into such a unique deal with Zika Media, for instance, where there is a budget. And usually, because I've been involved in a lot of structuring most of these deals, for instance, there's always a line where they give you what they call the term sheet. You look at the term sheet, there's where you are required to name the sounds, who is featuring and everything, how much went into publishing, for instance, in terms of people that actually wrote the song, produced the song, how many videos you intend to shoot, for instance, what's the budget, what's the marketing budget, what exactly are you looking to do with the budget and all of that. The guy that sits on your side, that's supposed to be able to flesh this out, to be able to have that conversation with the likes of Zika Media and everything, should be an insightful guy who understands it. There should be a cost point on that person, you know, regardless.
Of course.
You know, so I get it that there's too much expectations on them, but believe me, if you put the same expectations on a number of the talent in even the matured market, they can't move the music.
Okay, I understand that. So coming to the point, is it that a lot of our artists or their teams are not structured to think out of the box or take advantage?
Okay, let me say this. Right, okay, let me say this. You should have somebody who understands the game, like you said. I mean, I started moving out well when I had Georgina Bimpong, who was sitting in the middle of BMG, Arista, and she was like the street manager for, I mean, most of the hits we had back in the days, Confession from, what's it, Usher and all of that. She was the one promoting in the UK.
Wow.
So when I pushed her to work for me, that's when I had a proper plan. You understand? And that's how we roll out Kangaroo and all of that, the MTV stuff. So for me, you always need to have somebody who knows what they're doing. Okay? Now, let's come to Zika Media, for example, when he was talking about Zika Media, for example. I mean, when I signed on Zika Media, that's like just before Corona, you know, and I tried to release the single and, an EP, and then the Corona. So the plan was like what he was saying, because I was just tired, because what people expect from me, for example, is not the tick that you know, like the tic-tac. We'll release a song and it will be working. People will expect more. So the idea was to go to Africa and reaffirm my status, you know, because being a musician, you're always a musician. So you need to have that plugged in your mind from the word go, and then move to a different level, okay? So if you don't plan and use that opportunity, then you will not get anywhere. So like I'm saying, a lot of Ghanaian artists have people who are just friends.
Yes,
exactly.
Okay. To that
no,
point,
and do you know how that happens?
Tell me.
It happens because they don't have anything.
Okay.
It's true.
So they look into the system and they find somebody who's maybe smart, like my friend here, and maybe he's been to the university or something to learn about, you know, how they teach marketing, but they don't teach marketing with music. And so I call university. So, okay, let's get in and let him do some PR, or a good writer from a media house. And because he knows how to write and everything, let him come in and be like, you know. But after you get a certain, respect, you need to move beyond that.
Yes.
You get me? So if you don't move beyond that, you get stuck. And then everything comes down on you. So who is going to be the one in that sector going to hold you down? That's what Sadiq was talking about. The music pluggers, the blah, 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 and the blah. And moving out, it's something that you have to do. Like she said, sometimes I didn't take anything, but it takes something. Like before Corona, I went to Kenya. I went to Kenya and I got a deal with Mundundu. I got 360 degrees distribution for Kenya in Mundundu because I'm trying to set up my TN records pretty well and have the artists, once they release, I want to have them in Kenya and the East African market. I want to have West Africa. And so I went to Kenya myself, and I all expenses paid by myself. So at the end of the day, you need to make the move. And guess what? We have a Ghanaian sitting in Kenya who is like, I don't know.
Like Osichum.
Yeah! He's like Osichum. And I met him and he said, look, this your boy just left here.
Patrick. That's his name. Patrick.
No, Mr. Kwako. Yeah, and do you know? Yeah. And he said, this guy just left here. What's his name? This guy who is doing this? Mr. Easy. He said, Mr. Easy just left here. Grams Morgan just left here. My Ghanaians don't come.
Wow.
And he controls like about 5 TV stations, 10 radio stations.
Wow.
And so if you don't travel, you will not know.
So I mean, it takes a lot of. I mean, and obviously, look, we need to understand that globally to enable the music, there's a way it's done. Zika Media technically has a deal with Warner Music. I mean, I know the show is not about. I
mean, that's just the recent, recent thing they've done.
I know the show is not about Zika Media, but we need to have a more elevated conversation in industry where we need to drum it home that it's a serious business that requires serious minds, that requires that investment. It's not just easy. For us, for instance, I get it. People say, "How are you able to do the things that you do and everything?" Because we spend time building ourselves as a team and gathering all the insight to build all the necessary business proposals that would attract investment. So you do 3 music awards, for instance, you realize that there's a certain gain in Africa. Like, how do we consolidate the gain? We need to get the channel needs to come. Okay, how soon are you able to go into all of these countries? You do the mapping, so okay, January 2022, you should be here. When that happens, you will require another investment to actively activate in these markets. So it's slow. So in 2 to 3 years, if we're able to achieve that Pan-African thing that we're able to do, somebody will probably look back and feel like it's not like
magic.
It's great. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of risk taking. It's a lot of sleepless nights and all of those things. I understand. The talent already spent sleepless nights curating or putting together the products.
He doesn't.
In this case, the sound. Yes. Yeah. So sometimes it can be a bit more difficult for them. It's not an excuse anyway, but today, like I said, there are too many commercial models that when you open up, you can get it. They are looking into Ghana. Yesterday, we had a meeting with a group from Germany, Horus Music. They're looking to do stuff relative to publishing, advance, a lot of them. They're looking into them.
Sadiq, but Sadiq, you see, I also have a problem with industry players in Ghana. And I've said it over and over and over.
And that is?
And that is what you just said. There are people zooming into Ghana, and there are a lot of artists who do not know.
Okay. Exactly.
Ghana people sit on information.
Hold on, please.
Let me land.
Please.
Ghanaians sit on information. And it's good that he's on TV and he's just saying it. You need to pay for that. No, you need to pay for that information. But like Sadiq, he's saying it. So Sadiq, it's not about you. Yeah. He's saying it. He said it. So tomorrow, if you're listening to him, you buzz him up. People also do not like to reach out.
That's the point.
People think people should get to them.
Right.
You need to reach out to people. He's just mentioned it. So you call him tomorrow. I'm going to call him tomorrow.
Exactly.
But like
I'll probably call him tomorrow.
So like I'm saying, we need to share information. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you may think maybe it's Sarkode. It might not be Sarkode. It might be the girl Yala. You get me? So talents are funny. You know, I always talk about Nigeria in that sense, where they have, like, before, I thought it was like they sat down and had a plan. But it was just industry people tailoring some certain sort of action.
Yes.
Why? We used to have a certain artist in Ghana, okay, who were like the flag, that you don't have to waste money to know that Ghana is in. So what Nigeria did was, they never left Two-Face. I will say this and say it all the time. So anytime there was an event, they will put Two-Face. That's the flag. Yeah. So Nigeria has arrived. Okay, that's fine. Now where are the other boys? And then Wheezy, then blah, 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 and then they are there. And then the next time when there's an event, maybe in South Africa, there's Two-Face. And then there's another artist, and then they grow stronger, like Burna Boy and the rest. Yes. And then check Burna Boy. Check what is going on in Nigeria. Soon, you will see another face. Yeah. But there will be Burna Boy. No, hold on. Okay. But in Ghana, there was a time that they'll be having an event. For example, we hosted this award. What's the name? Afrima. Yeah. During the launch of Afrima, there was Two-Face. Yeah. And I happened to bump into him, and he was screaming. And he said he was screaming. He screamed for like maybe 15 minutes. And he said, "How come you're not here?" And no industry person had the phone to call that. Look, there's Afrima. You need to be here. Yes.
Exactly. Because
hold on. It's important. Yeah. We need to also learn how to have how do you call it?
Dialogue.
No, not
conversations.
Like successional plans. Yes. Yes. So that we don't struggle. The thing is, we don't want to struggle, but we have to make it. So there should be a successional plan. There was the production manager for Afrima. He was like, "Why is Take not here today? This is Africa. You have one of the African icons who champion, and he's not here." And I know about the event, but I wasn't invited. You understand? Wow. And that is what I'm talking about. And if you go to Nigeria, that won't happen. Yes. Everybody will be invited. So that it's like the people, the faces, the faces now, the faces before, and the faces that are coming. So it's like a whole movement. So everybody is sharing the vibe, and it grows. So for example, if I know something, I will just say it, and Sadu will be like, "Great.
Let's jump
onto it." So people struggle and rewrite it. And so we are always struggling.
It's the same thing always.
And I would even say that with your return.
In the ways that these things are done, particularly in the more matured market, is that there's a certain constant reaching out because they understand, look. And that sort of elevated activities is entering some of these markets. It's not for any reason why the label manager for Sony Music West Africa, for instance, was flying to Ghana to come and have a conversation and pitch something. Yeah. The record labels are constantly pitching. And today, in fact, in this digital world today, the pitching is an all-time high because you've got to pitch for playlists, you've got to pitch editorials, you've got to pitch. There's a lot of things that you're constantly pitching. So nobody's actually waiting for Sadiq to actually say, "Oh, this one has to do this." What happened in Nigeria when you look at it was smaller, different people doing so well in their small corner. Of course, there's always the element of excessive capital. I won't add the corrupt capital.
Well,
excessive capital. Because at a certain point in time, they had a lot more capital.
Yes.
Everybody can have a reason regardless of where it's coming from. People talk about power and people talk about politics.
Well, it's the capital.
It's the capital.
Okay.
So there was excessive capital
which was able to be
met a certain move back into Nigeria by the diasporans who had worked in these labels and organizations and understood, had a proper worldview. And then once they had it and there was a certain know-how, look, today the Nigerian music industry, entertainment industry is competing with the advertising industry for staff. Yes. If you're a top account executive in any of the ad agencies, believe me, you're going to be on a Wiz team. You're going to be on an Omale team and everything. Yeah. And because they have a clear understanding regarding how to package the brand, activate the brand, all these conversations around having to activate the music are all principles that are things that you probably learn in marketing or communications or any of those, areas, or you can actually learn it. For most of us, it was through mentorship. Years back when they were shooting Tic Tac's Kangaroo, I got to work on it because I was following how to follow Alex in Ghana. You know, a lot of people don't know that. So
Alex Akosi.
Yes. And he's a big deal.
Yeah, so I'll follow him, and every time when he comes to Ghana, you pick him. So when there's any project, really, everybody will call you. You call you in, and then you follow and understand. So yesterday when I was telling somebody that In fact, the BVs on Kangaroo was done by Don Jazzy.
Yeah.
And
no, as a matter of fact, the production.
The production.
The whole production.
Somebody was like, I was like, no, it's there. I mean, TikTok may not, then it was very obvious, but he probably may not have pushed it. But back to the point about consistent pitching. What do PR agencies do? They're consistently pitching stories. They're consistently pitching whatever and all of those things, even where they have to pay and all of that. They're constantly pitching to clients, pitching to the media agencies or the relevant stakeholders or publics. It's the same thing that needs to be done. I think we need to be able to really make it a strong narrative that it's a very serious industry that requires serious minds, and you need a certain level of constant practice. I only just have a degree, but I've gone through the mail regard, through, radio, events, ad agencies, done TV, and today, I never set out to really understand finance and financial planning or management. But today, you're building that and really understanding it and building yourself into that. People need to get to the point that if you're starting off with the talents today and you're his friend, the next level may not be you if you're still in the
They need to accept that. They need to accept that.
So that's the first point of it. The thought leadership needs to be there. That will be the most important step. Then that way, people can begin to do things within their smaller stake right, and we can have a number of us doing things right, and together you'd see that industry has started to elevate, and then we go.
Okay. Yeah, I think I will agree with you with that because Tick said something. In Ghana, you see people that they just start with their friends, and it's hard to leave their friends because they know.
But at some point, you need to make that hard.
And I've seen a lot of artists here go through that. You can see that the artist is complaining.
Wiz made the
and then it was a very controversial issue at that point.
Let
me cut you quickly. We have to quickly wrap up, and we're wrapping up in the next few minutes. But at the risk of sounding controversial, I want to analyze what you said with Beyonce's collaboration. And we saw, looking at some of the African artists that were on that particular project, Burna Boy, Wizkid, Tiwa.
Do you know that she literally introduced certain artists to Africans?
True.
That's what I'm saying.
And then over that
there
period,
are certain artists that I didn't know.
But over that period,
you know what I mean?
They'll be pitched. Even Shatta Wale was pitched.
Exactly.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
but wrapping it up, over that period, we've seen a lot of these artists spring or try to use that as a springboard into bigger and better collaborations. Burna Boy was Diddy on his recent album. Wizkid now collaborating with Justin Bieber. Tiwa with Brandy on a new one. You see where I'm going.
But see,
but not, and I hope Shatta doesn't come for me for saying this, but it seems that with
that's
him,
the wrong thing about us.
With
the truth cannot be said without anybody coming
for you.
Yes,
the
but
truth is there.
And guess what?
Somebody
and
needs
guess
to
what?
take advantage of that
but
platform.
But you see, but you see, like
I
said,
we're wrapping it up now.
Good, great. But you see, it's also not just about the collaboration.
Okay.
It's about the plan. But the plan leads you to the collaboration.
But after the collaboration, what should you do?
The plan. You need to have a plan after the collaboration. You need to have a plan before the collaboration.
So in this case, there's no plan.
Justin Bieber tweeted saying, "Thank you for having me
on your song."
So do you understand that? There was a plan for the song.
Nicki Minaj.
No. There was a plan for the song.
Yes, there was.
And for all you know, he had to hit him up and say, "Yo, bro, I gotta be on this song." You'll be surprised because he see where the song is going.
Yeah.
So if you don't have the plan, then it's like you just do it and you do it for nothing.
So basically, we understand what you're saying. What you're saying, there is no plan on this side.
Okay, all right.
There is no
and
proper.
On that note.
No, proper.
Yeah.
And not just on this
shortly.
side, not just on this side, but I feel there's a lot of planning on this side, but there's not funds. Not enough funds. Not people, a lot of people.
But the artist you're talking about here has the funds.
Yes.
That's
everything.
No, that's what you may think.
So final words from you, Sadiq.
No, but that's what you may think, Sadiq.
Look, consolidating the gains is but very important. But again, we need to understand that ambition is but very subjective. I may have a personal ambition of taking over the world and we'll work at it. I don't know. It depends on the talent. Perhaps the talent thinks, well, map him and I can't do anything else. Or perhaps he's got people in the team that do not see the next level enough to convince him on the next level. Or he himself perhaps is waiting for the next level to come to him.
Okay.
You need to
always
actually follow and really plan and unlock the next level. It doesn't come to you.
Okay, and on that unlocking of the next level note, thank you so much for joining me. Such an informative conversation. we definitely have to do it again.
I mean,
and
I was
this
just
time
about to say this.
On you on the red couch. No, I think this is like PR 101 for every artist here. Sadiq, it's always a pleasure. I hope to have you again soon. Chris.